Hey guys, we are here today for another episode of the Butt Dyno Report, and this week we are replacing these NGK Iridium spark plugs with brisk silver racing plugs and the upgraded R8 coils with APR ignition coils that should give a 10% better spark with silver, this is the old one, silver racing plugs, maybe a little boost in power. That's why we're here on the Butt Dyno Report to find out. So let's tell you where we're at right now. One of the items we are replacing is this ignition coil. This coil is actually from the Audi R8. I mean, it's the same coil style, which is pretty cool to have R8 parts on the car. Everyone for a while thought that these would have better performance because they're from the R8, but they've later found out that there is no difference in performance, but all it is consistency of spark, being able to make the power very consistently. And here are NGK Iridium spark plugs that I put on the car back in 2020. So these are 3 years old. You can tell, wants to focus. The coils are really good condition. These definitely worn, definitely used, definitely have about almost 40,000 miles on them, which is quite a bit. See that burnt out almost. So those, yeah, they're already in continuity error. Oh well. Those are going to perform much better. So, I mean, the engine was running very well. I just replaced the intake manifold. That's going good. I have to do VCDS adaptation. Hopefully I got those acronyms right, just to make sure that it is running properly. But we're going to take this car out once I get the new coils in, see how it drives. First time I did it, there was definitely a little boost, probably not, I mean, not boost because we're boosted, but a little boost in performance just because we're upgrading the equipment. And I think again, we're gonna have a little boost in performance because we've got racing silver spark plugs and these APR upgraded coils. I'm on stage 2, so I'm not gonna expect it to be a very noticeable difference. I'm expecting a lot of just smoothness to the engine. It's probably gonna ride very smooth. I don't think it's fully gonna do the whole big, oh my goodness, this is a life changer. It's probably not. But what I am gonna say is we are gonna do some 0 to 60 times again because the car is running well. One thing I do wanna say, a couple people have mentioned, and I've just seen, I think I need to hold first gear a little bit longer. So we're gonna test that when we do 0 to 60 times. But let's get the new spark plugs and new coils in and then see how it drives. So one of the things that actually amazed me the most was the condition of the ignition coils. These 4 over here are the old ones. You can tell they're still in good condition. They're still in fantastic condition. And this one over here is the new APR one. I mean, you can barely tell, it's just a little bit newer, but there's not much different from these R8s versus that APR in terms of styling. Supposedly that gives a 10% better spark. These R8 ones apparently were found to not do too much in terms of performance, but I'm sure they were just a better, more reliable coil for this engine. So we're trying the APR ones on Elsa. We're gonna see how they do. Ignition service was overdue, but we're doing it. I'm excited to see how it drives. So we've got the old plugs right there and the new one. I mean, those weren't fully gone. They're definitely very worn. So with this new brisk racing silver plug of these NGK Iridiums, we're definitely gonna be gaining some performance just because we're replacing a slightly worn out part. If we wanna get real close to that, you can see that's about 30,000 miles away. That's not the worst, but that's just gonna be better. It'll be interesting because these are iridium, that's silver, see how they do. I'm not anticipating too much in terms of anything noticeable. Just maybe smoother, just a better running car, just because we're replacing the ignition system that we should have replaced probably sooner. And I'm not terribly concerned, but those definitely have been used quite a bit. So it's kind of as I expected, not too much of a performance feel difference. It's just the car runs impeccably smooth right now. I think it's kind of unfair of me to judge APR's ignition coils right now, since I still think I'm fighting a bit of a boost leak, especially after that coupler came off. I tightened it down pretty tight and I just kept tightening it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's tight, but it just kept going and going and going, and I felt it and I'm like, that thing is on there, and it was tighter than I think it was before. But I think I'm still fighting a boost leak somehow, some way, somewhere. So it's kind of not the most fair thing for me to say APR's coils are worse than the R8 coils, if that even is the case, which I don't think it is, because you can feel it's running impeccably well. It's running exceptional right now for how old the car is. 120,000 miles, new spark plugs, new coils. I mean, all the other stuff I've done to it, kept up with the oil changes. It's running great. I mean, I've messed up some stuff on it, but that's just, we'll ignore that for now. I mean, you put your foot into it a little bit, you can definitely feel the pep. It's not so much like a huge boost in power. It's not much. Let's drop it down to fourth. Very consistent. You can hear it roaring away in the engine, just how consistent that spark is, you can tell. I mean, I like them, and if they do give a 10% better spark, I mean, that's not a 10% better spark, it's 10% better horsepower. 10% better spark is probably like 1 horsepower, 2 horsepower, or something like that. I might have done dyno results. So you're not necessarily gonna feel all of that on the seat of your pants, but I mean, this thing still rips. I mean, it's just a lot of, it's unfair to APR to say anything bad against their coils, because I don't think there is anything, when we've done a stage 2 tune, we've done an intake, we've done so many other things that are definitely overshadowing it, so you're not getting the full effect as if you just put them on a stock engine. Ooh, breaking them loose, tires are cold, it's 41 out. But there's a lot less fanfare going all the way to red line, just because the engine's running that smoothly. And then with the new intake manifold as well, we've got the flappers operating properly, but it's just operating as it should. Cold tires, you can kind of feel those. I mean, I like them. I'm never gonna fault these things. I love, for whatever reason, I love ignition mods. I don't know why. There's not much you can do. There's like spark plugs and coils and about it, but something about getting a little bit bigger fire in there just makes the dude in me kind of happy. Makes him kind of happy. It's really sad. This is the last time on this road filming. Let's make the most of it. Oof. Push it too hard. Oh, but that is smooth. That power delivery is very smooth. It's not the NA V6 Audi power band, like nice and smooth, just torquey, just grunting you up there. But with these new spark plugs and these new coils, it's pretty darn good. I like it. Now I'm gonna warn you guys. We are gonna do some 0 to 60 because I said I would. Except it has just rained. It's mostly dry now though. And it's 41 degrees outside. So good for power, not good for traction. So I have not a lot of expectations on any sort of time, but we're gonna throw some down and have some fun. All right, I'm gonna preface this. I left my VPeak scanner at home, so we're using GPS race timer. So I'm not really gonna count these too much for bad or for worse, or better I should say, just because it's a completely different measuring system, so it could be very far off. I'm pretty sure this is wet right here, but it's the space I got. Traction control is off. Let's reset. All right, ready for run number 1 with cold tires in 3, 2, 1. Oh, there was no grip. There was nothing. There was absolute. That was a 7.9. I could tell as soon as I hit second, that's just
Spinning, 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 spinning. There's not a lick of grip there. Whew. All right, that was a 7.9, like I said. Let's make sure no one's behind us. Let's do that again. Ready for run number 2 in 3, 2, 1. Losing all the traction right there. 7.9 again. That messed up. That 100% messed up. I hit 60, looked at it, and it was still in the 6s somewhere. So who knows what that was. Done 2 0 to 60s. There is not a lick of traction out here, so it is completely irrelevant data. So, I mean, there you have it. 7.9s, I guess, is just all it wants to show. Well, who knows? All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this Butt Dyno Report video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. Check out our Patreon if you want to support the build. Have a great day, and remember, Jesus loves you. Bye.